Hi, I'm David with Stinger Equipment, and this is the Gateway Applicator. It features the industry's most accurate and easiest to use control system. Today we're going to go over the best practices and features and how to use it. Before we get going, let's cover PPE. Most products or labels require long sleeve shirts, gloves, and eye protection when loading or mixing chemicals. Today, we'll be using just water, so we're going to skip that so we can talk and communicate better for training purposes. The most impressive thing about the Gateway Applicator is the OneTouch Control systems. The OneTouch Control will regulate spreading and spraying to match the ground speed with greater than 99% accuracy. We use wheel speed sensors to instantaneously adjust the flow rates for both spread and spray over 100 times a second to match exactly what the machine is doing. Every application, spreading or spraying, is based on motion that they get from the wheel speed sensors. When you go into a turn, it will shift the spray pattern and the spread pattern to match the turn rate. When you speed up or slow down, it'll adjust those rates to match the ground speed. When the machine stops, everything stops. This is huge. No longer do you have to worry about employees burning turf, forgetting to turn something off because they stopped to pick up a dog toy. When the machine stops, everything stops. When they take off again, everything resumes at the exact precise flow rate to match the ground speed. OneTouch controls are changing everything in the industry. The first thing we're going to cover is basic operation of the controls. Let's go ahead and start the machine. We're going to turn to one click so the control comes on. Once you turn it on, the control enters the startup mode. To turn on the control fully, hit the two thumb switches or the two outside buttons to power up the control. The basic operation comes down to three buttons: spread, spray, and the direction. So if you want to spread, turn on spread. If you want to spray, turn on spray. This is your direction control. The single light shows the narrow mode. The two lights show wide mode, and you can toggle back and forth by pressing the center button. Press the right button to spread and spray to the right. Press the left button to spread and spray to the left. Everything is adjusted fully automatically with one touch. Additionally, you have a tank mixing. If you want to mix chemicals in your tank or keep constant tank agitation while spraying, select tank agitation. You also have your presets for your spray. You can toggle through different products that are preset by your service manager. Then you can see what your spray rate is. That's a half gallon per thousand because there's no decimal in the front. Then you can come over to the fertilizer and there's pounds per thousand. It's currently set up for 4 pounds per thousand. This button is also your presets for the fertilizer. Toggle through and you can see the programs that your service manager set up to apply for the day. This is your vibrator button. The vibrator comes on automatically when you're spreading, so there's no need to adjust that. So the only three buttons you'll use during applications are spray, spread, wide, narrow, left or right. Once you select the product that you want to put down, liquid or granular, to run the machine, you now have thumb switches. When the lights are solid, it means it's active. This is what we want to do. But to enable, take the safety off so it spreads and sprays based on motion. When it's blinking by touching a thumb switch, now it's active. As soon as it starts moving, it will spread and spray product. As soon as it stops, it will stop. If you tap the thumb switch again, now it's inactive, waiting for the next time you push the button. So now it's active, it'll spread and spray based on motion, and now it's off. The spray system on the Gateway Applicator is designed to spray between a 1/4 gallon and a half gallon per thousand. If out on the job, your company requires you to mix chemicals in the tank, this is how you do it. Fill the tank with water, 2/3 of the way full to around 15-16 gallons. Remove the tank cap. Measure out your chemicals in your pitcher to however many ounces you need. Dump it in and turn on tank agitation. The pump has a tank agitation venturi nozzle down inside where it'll turn the entire tank 20 times a minute. This is the most aggressive tank agitation in the industry. Additionally, if you want to do wettable powders, we have a basket strainer where you can put the basket strainer in, insert your wettable powders, and cap it, and it will slowly dissolve inside the solution, keeping everything in suspension. The tank agitation comes on automatically, even while spraying. So you can enable tank agitation while spraying The tank will constantly be stirred every time the spray tips are turned off. When the spray tips are enabled, the tank agitation flow is directed instantaneously to the spray tips. This is how you can spray wettable powders in a super compact machine. This is our strainer. Notice how it's up above the bottom of the tank. It's up high so you can actually change the strainer with the tank half or 2/3 full of fluid. If you need to clean out the strainer, just unscrew it, pull it out, dump out any fluids. The most important thing is do not lose this gasket. If you drop it on the ground, which is very common, when you put it back in, your pump will no longer hold pressure. It might spray at 35 PSI, but it definitely won't spray at 50 because it's now sucking in air in through the system, cavitating the pump. So if and when you do clean out your strainer, make sure you put the gasket back in place. The spray tips on the Gateway Applicator do not use diaphragms or strainers. There is no need for them. We have an electronic valve built into our spray tip that turns on and off over 30 times a second that you can see that regulates the flow rate. With that, when you're spraying solids or other products, there is no chance of it getting clogged or getting a piece of dirt or debris in the diaphragm, where when it turns it off, it drips, killing the turf. So these spray tips, plug and play, zero maintenance, work perfectly. To make an application, select spray, or select spread, or select both for the same time. Set your width to narrow for your trim pass. Your trim pass should be made in a counterclockwise rotation. When trimming, apply the product precisely, right up against the edge of all hard surfaces. Don't spread fertilizer onto the sidewalks and driveways where you have to clean it up later. For your second pass, select left, then follow the edge of your first trim pass. Now select wide. In this example, since we're spreading, we'll use the spread pattern to set our spacing. Always spread back to the center of your previous pass. If you're just spraying, then spray halfway back to the center of your previous pass. With the OneTouch controls, everything is ground metered and automatic. The operator simply focuses on spacing and accurate applications every time. This is the spray wand. We use it for spraying small areas. To use it, just squeeze the handle. The pump has to be on like you're normally spraying. The most important thing you need to know about this, when you're spraying, the spray pressure should be around 20 PSI. So what we normally do is we'll set a preset, maybe 3 or 4, with a lower spray pressure than what you'll normally do at P1 or P2. We also have a manual on and off, where if you were to damage the spray wand during the day, you can finish your route just by turning it off so there's no spray pressure going to the wand. So the spreader on the Gateway Applicator features multiple gate openings. You have 2 gates, one on the right and one on the left. That way you can spray product to the right, left, or both fully automatically. This is also how we ground meter the product and control the rate. So those are the gate openings. We also have a curved spreader disc, where the curve allows the material to come off the disc like an underhanded soft toss instead of a line drive. So when you're trimming with your spreader, you're putting the product exactly where you want it and not all over the sidewalks and driveways. We have to come back later and clean it up. Additionally, we have a spreader cone. This cone allows you to shift your spread pattern right or left if it's heavy to one side. If you're too heavy to the right and you want it to go left, you just push it to the left. If it's too heavy to the left and you want it more right, you just push it to the right. It's that easy. The OneTouch controls are IP68 rated. That means they're waterproof, dustproof from any of the contaminants that it can come across during the day. Additionally, when you go to wash the machine, wash it as much as you want. Power wash it, flood it with a garden hose. The more water you get to flush any fertilizer off the machine, the better. We recommend that you wash the machine no more than 1 time a week. The only critical part about washing the machine is when you're done, take a leaf blower and run the engine. The engine is not stainless like the entire rest of the machine. You need to get any water and moisture off the engine so it doesn't corrode. A new feature for cleaning out the fertilizer hopper, you can press and hold the vibrator button for 5 seconds. The fertilizer gates will open fully and the vibrator will come on. This is for cleaning out any materials that might be in a hopper or taking a garden hose and flushing it out. Additionally, we've added where you can press the yellow thumb switch and the gates will cycle fully open and fully closed. So if I was washing this out, I would close them, put my garden hose in here and fill up the hopper, and when it's half full, I'll start cycling it, and then I flush out the slide mechanism so there's no corrosive material fertilizer left in seed gates at the end of the day or end of the night, or on Fridays when I actually clean it out. And then the next morning when I go to start it again, to make sure there's no fertilizer that crystallized in the slide mechanism, I go in, I press and hold the vibrator button, it'll fully open, I'll cycle it 4 or 5 times, and then I know everything's working like it should be. If we have a jam where something gets stuck into it, a new feature is based on an algorithm to protect the servos and also protect the machine so you don't spill product. If it were to jam, it overloads and gives you an E7 code. So what does it do when it has an E7 code? This can be from opening or closing when you didn't clean the hopper properly. So what it will do when it senses an overload scenario, it will close the gates if it was trying to close or open. If it's stuck on something, it can only go so far. And then after about 10 seconds, it'll clear itself and close again. So this protects the servos. It also prevents you from spilling product. So if it was to jam trying to open, it would close, turn off, and give you an E7 code that says, hey, something's not right, something's jammed inside the mechanism. Most of the time it's because it wasn't cleaned properly, because they didn't get all the material out and they let it sit for 4 or 5 days where the fertilizer that was there crystallized and basically bricked everything, which everybody's seen it, where you go and pull and try to open a fertilizer spreader and nothing will move until you take water and flush all that fertilizer out. The parking brake on the Gateway Applicator, you can see the parking brake light when the brake is active. To turn the parking brake on and off, you have P down here for parking brake. Anything that's grayed out is a press and hold. So press and hold the center button, the parking brake turns off. Press and hold it again, the parking brake turns on. Another nice feature about the parking brake is if you drive through it after 4 inches, it'll automatically turn itself off. Additionally, when you turn the engine off, the parking brake automatically sets. The Gateway Applicator is incredible on hills. While it's only 35 inches wide, it has the lowest center of gravity in the industry. It also has the widest foot platform. So when you're on hills, try to shift your weight to the high side, putting as much weight on the high tire as you can. Let me show you. So if I'm going to drive it, I'll shift my weight. Shifting my weight to the high side while going across the hill. If I go up a hill, I lean forward. And when I go down a hill, I shift my weight to the back. So I keep the weight on the rear tires so I don't lose traction. The fuel tank on the Gateway Applicator is 1 gallon, which provides 3.5 hours of runtime when fully loaded. Let me show you how to add gas to the fuel tank. Pull your spray wand and get it out of the way. With the engine off, give it time to cool. Remove your fuel cap. Take your standard gas can, this is 2.5 gallons. Fill it up. When it's full, put your cap back on, make sure it's locked, and that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy using our equipment as much as we enjoy making it for you. Please follow along on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook for more content. And if you want to see anything in a future video idea, go to our website, stingerequipment.com, and send us a message under Contact Us. Thank you.